tonight. It is another week here with the Not Ghost Host podcast, and I am your ghost host, Mike. And today we are going to be talking with Dave Olson from the Chicago Paranormal Investigators. We have a little interview with him. There is video of it, so if you can find us on YouTube under Edzilla, or you can look under Mike Whitty through my RSS, but there's really not much of video. It's just a sound wave. I'm supposed to be on Spotify and Apple in video form. However, I don't know how that works and if I am or not. So, because I am, only a few episodes into this. So, check that out. And without further ado, we will be going with Dave out at the site at Paranormal Chicago Convention in Countryside, Illinois. And we have an outside display with Misty and all of our equipment that we use. We got it all laid out on tables so people can come by and see. They can take a walk through Misty. And I will be showing you all that in our video, and probably just explaining it for the people that are unable to watch the video. So with further ado, I am going to go to Dave with an interview. So, all right, we're back. When I am with Dave Olson from CPI. He is the founder and boss man, and he is the one that accepted me into the group. Thank you, Dave, very much.
I'm very lucky to have you. Yeah. Thank you.
And Dave, if I don't come up with something that you want to say, go ahead and just throw it out there. But right now, I want to know what got you started into the paranormal.
Okay. Before I start, the glare of the sun, I'm going to have to put the shades on. I'm sorry.
Ahead,
I'm getting blinded by the light.
Wow, that's old.
Was it Man for Man? But anyway, yeah, what got me started is I believe, and other people believe, I'm a little bit sensitive. I'm not a medium, but I was born with some type of ability, and I had it as a kid. Would seem to open my eyes to this. As a child, I would hear disembodied voices, and I remember at times I would wake my mom up and say, "Mom, I hear these voices, and I don't know what they're trying to say." And as I got older, I still had these experiences, and as a young adult, I would still hear the voices, and then I started feeling like energy charges, like I could feel when something's around, it seems like. So that kept my mind open, but as I became a police officer, I started at 21, I started getting skeptical. I knew there was something out there, but, being the police, you become skeptical. But I was having these experiences, and I still at times would hear these disembodied voices. And then after I got off probation, I started working a side job at a haunted location. It was the City College, but the grounds were the Dunning Institution, Chicago State Hospital. And there was so many employees from housekeeping, engineers, teachers, other security guys that talked about experiences. And after working there, I started having my own experiences, which led me into buying gear. I'm like, there is something out there. And then at times I was able to document these disembodied voices that I would hear in my own ears, and they're on the recording. So no, I'm not going nuts. And that's what really got me going, is working at community college that used to be the hospital grounds. There was so much activity there. And I caught my very first clear EVP there. And they go, "What are you doing?" And then it said, "Get out." Leave now. And so after that, I ended up forming a team in 2009. In between 2008, I started investing in gear 2008, and then I exploded in 2009. And after that, when I formed the team.
Now, would you say that being a policeman has helped or hindered your belief in the supernatural?
At first, I was young. It might have hindered it. I was trying to, and you need to be skeptical, and you need to come up with natural explanations for things. And but I was still having them. I was, even at work sometimes, if it was an abandoned hospital someone broke into or trespassing or a building, I would have these unexplained feelings and stuff. I just couldn't explain, and realized as I got older and started my own team and investigating, these feelings I was having or being able to hear now I could use as tools for investigating. But yeah, at first as the police, I think it made me more skeptical, but then I had to face the truth. I'm having these experiences, and there's something out there.
Now, when you started this team, what was it that you were looking for in your investigators?
People I can trust. At first it was other police officers or people in the trust field. I could, if they feel or see something, I could trust them. But some of them were policemen, some of them were detectives and bosses, sergeants, lieutenants. And when I first started out, and I also had civilians, yeah, the trust factor. If I can't trust them in my own home, how could I trust them investigating someone else's house?
Right.
Last thing I want is liability of stuff being stolen or damaged and stuff like that. So,
are there any particular traits that you look for somebody or in somebody, or just go by feel?
A combination of both. I mean, sometimes it seems like I have a good judge of character. I can feel sometimes the energy off someone, negative or positive, which helps. And it's just being the policeman for years, being interviewing offenders and stuff. I think it helps me out. People that want to join the team, to interview them, asking certain type of questions and seeing how they react. And also it helps with clients,
Right.
Especially being able to talk to them. Sometimes it's hard over the phone. I'd rather do it in person. If it's too far, then maybe Skype or one of the video chats where I could read them.
Now, when you're going out to these investigations and you have a claim of, let's say, things moving and a lot of noises and sounds, when you come to the realization that what you're hearing is probably based on the house, not on any supernatural, how do you approach somebody and tell them, hey, it's really not anything? What if these people actually think that they have their family members? How do you break that news to them?
If possible, show them. Like if they're hearing certain noises, this is what's so good about having first responders on the team. Like for instance, Ryan and Matt, they're firemen, and like Matt, a lot of firemen have side jobs. So like Matt was in construction, redoing homes and heating and air. So man, he's a key tool when it comes to stuff like that. He'll go in, floorboards, the venting for the air, depending what the claims are. And he really digs into that, looking for a natural explanation. And if he comes across it, or we come across it, if possible, if we could recreate it, we'll show the clients. And sometimes it's a big relief.
It could be a relief, but some people, some people really want to believe that they have something in their home, and maybe they feel that it's their brother, sister, or something like that. And I don't have a problem telling somebody the truth, but I'm a little bit too blunt.
Right.
And I don't want to come off like there's nothing here. Yeah, those people are still with you, however you look at it, but they're not doing your haunt.
Right.
And that, me, I would just say, hey.
Almost like in the field where you gotta, like if a policeman gets into a heated situation, you get the partner to come and explain that. Might be a little more,
right.
Tell it differently.
Yeah, tell you, hey, come on over and talk because I can't do this anymore.
You step back and, but yeah, you know what? You can't please everyone. You could just tell them if they want to believe what they want to believe. This is what we believe, or through our experience, what we think it is, and that's all you can do. If they want to believe it, otherwise,
right.
that it's, spirits related or paranormal related, you can't change their mind. But all you can do is try to tell them the truth, and through your experience, or if you're able to recreate it for them, it really helps.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing, is being able to prove what you're saying. But have you ever followed another team or another team follow you and say completely different report of what you have, or haven't you come across that?
A little bit. I think it's more of a team that didn't have enough, how can I say, equipment to document things correctly. It's not that you need everything out there. I mean, I'm way overboard with equipment, but to me, it's very important to cover as much as you can, video, audio, and match everything up when you go through it and stuff. But I think sometimes teams, not all teams, but some teams that don't have the right equipment, and they just can't cover as much. And they might capture something that could be, for instance, an outside noise. Like sometimes we cover inside and outside, depending on where the location is. Well, every location we try to cover inside and outside, but you got cameras. Like, for instance, you could be in a house or in a basement, you hear what sounds like a scream, and you don't have any coverage outside. It could be someone on the street going by, or in a car radio, or whatever. So I think sometimes I come across something like that with maybe with other teams, and well, it's not that you're doing it purposely or anything like that, but something like you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, it's like right now we're sitting outside. These microphones are not supposed to be so sensitive that they pick up everything else, but they are picking up everything. And I mean, these are designed not to do that, but yet they're still picking it up. So I can see what you're saying with the right equipment, or maybe less quality equipment can also hinder their investigation.
I'll give you an example. We investigated this old Chicago police station, and I actually captured gunshots, legit gunshots. I brought it to the range guys, had them review it, and I had that place covered inside and out with cameras and voice recorders. Now, if I didn't have enough equipment to cover that, I could prove that it wasn't any outside noise. The recorder, the audio came from that room, and only that room. None of the outside voice recorders and cameras with audio captured it. None of them in the hallways, in the other rooms, outside. There wasn't a car backfire. I could prove all that stuff. It took a long time to go through and match everything, but I could prove it came from that room and only that room. And if I didn't have that equipment to cover it, it's a question mark. How about if it was fireworks outside or something, or a noise that came from outside, someone shooting a gun outside. But I was lucky enough to have the equipment to cover everything needed to prove that it came from that room.
And that was like Brian and I went out and did a preliminary for you in Chicago, and there was the house it's got to be at least 80 years old, if it's not older. But I heard conversations from outside the house. I knew they were from outside the house. So if I play back any of that recording, I'm going to know that those were people talking outside the house.
Right.
And not only that, but they were in the alley, which is 2 houses away. And I still heard them talking. Plus, we had, a machine in the background I heard, from doing the streets they were working on.
Right.
But to the untrained ear, and I mean, some of these teams they're not trained in anything.
Right.
Fortunately, you and I, Ryan, and the other first responders on here, we're trained to look for things. We're trained to see things. As a fireman, they have to see where they're going. They have to see what they're walking into. For us, we got to look around and see, who's going to come at us, or, is even walking into a building, from experience you don't know what some of these buildings are, how they're constructed.
Right.
Are you going to go through a floor or, whatever.
Right.
So we're trained observers, and that's in our title somewhere. but some of these teams, they go out there, and a lot of the times, none of them are trained in anything. A lot of office workers, or people that are interested and want to do it.
Right. And it's not bad mouthing it at all, but sometimes you need that experience, like you're talking about. I mean,
Right.
especially if you're making a team and you're going to someone's home, it could be vulnerable. They
Right.
really believe, or they really need the help, or they need answers, and sometimes you need that experience. I believe, and it's I think sometimes before some of these teams are formed, they should maybe work with other teams or get the experience before forming their own team. And it's just me. I don't want to go out there and give a business owner, homeowner, or landowner purposely or wrong information,
Right.
and make them think it's one thing and it's another. But sometimes it takes a little bit. And I know stuff's expensive, but do the best you can on getting stuff to cover the areas that need to be covered. And then, you just need the experience. You need to know the equipment, what to look for misreads, and I'm so used to, for all the years going through audio, I just know with my own ears already, what is and what is. An EVP.
Right.
That's just through experience. I mean, many years.
Yeah, and you have to sit through hours of that. I still struggle. And I've been doing this since 92, listening to recording, because that's all I ever had. But, and you've seen, I still use cassette tapes, because cassette tapes, to me, they're magnetic. And what is energy? It's magnetic energy. There's electric energy. So I think that those are going to pick up just as good as the digital today. But with the teams coming up, because it's regaining its strength, I can see just by being at this conference. I think that we have the best of both worlds, because one, we have first responders. I was in construction for 20 some years.
That's key also.
So that was, and not only that, but I am a home inspector and a city building inspector. Excuse me. So it's just, I have a little bit of a life experience. Some of these teams, I hope that they're doing it. Hire somebody, or not hire, but take on a team member that has that knowledge. But where do you see this team going on in the future?
Well, I'd like to keep the team small, like we have half a dozen investigators, maybe some part-timers, which we have, to fill in when we're shorthanded. And I like to keep it professional, in which I think we all are. I love how we take sometimes the first responder angle into it, from the start to the finish. I just like the team to grow and push on, and maybe one day we'll get lucky and have someone pay for our travel. But you know what? From the very beginning, I know when you first start, you want to get the home run piece, and everything's about evidence. But I don't know if it's the first responders in us, but what's more important to me now? I mean, of course, getting evidence is cool and this and that, but on some of the investigations we had that are been very touching, very heartbreaking, with homicides and stuff like that, and missings and whatever else, tragedy. And what's more important to me now is helping both sides, if it makes sense, the client or the person that's calling, making them understand, or making them aware of what's going on, and helping whatever your beliefs are, the other side of the spirits that are waiting to go to the next step and just don't know how. Because we get a lot of help me's.
Right.
Every investigation, it always seems like one or two help me's coming through. And, and then, I always keep an open mind. I'm not here to preach, but dealing with a lot of the mediums we dealt with in some of these cases, especially the homicide or tragedy cases, that some of these spirits seem to need to be guided to whatever the next step is. You know, like I said, I'm not here to preach. If it's the light, heaven, you know, whatever. But they need to move on from, you know, no longer be earthbound. They need help moving on to the next step, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes complete sense. And that leads me to my next question of the mediums that you use. Do you think that they're on the level, all of them, or do you, how do you look at them?
Well, at the very beginning, you know, I keep an open mind, but I didn't know what I believed when I first started. But I was skeptical, but I'm always open to trying something at least once. And the two main mediums I deal with, they came without having any knowledge of the locations. Like some of it was remote viewing. I didn't even know until I got there. And she's saying, yeah, the room with the blue walls and, you know, this type of bed and dresser. I get there, I'm like, holy crap. How the hell does she know this? She'd never been there before. I never been here before until now, you know, and so what is that? I mean, that's something. And there's stuff they know. And I remember, you know, there's information. There's no way, like I give them sometimes the address the very last second where they have to put in a GPS to drive. I don't want them doing research or anything like that, or I'll try to barely give them anything other than to get to the location. And they're just stuff beforehand. It could be like a homicide case where people were murdered and she's coming up with all this information and there's no way she could know. So, I mean, yeah, you got to watch out. There's different type of mediums and people with the ability with different type of senses. But the ones I deal with seems to have all of them, from remote viewing, seeing, hearing, feeling, and you name it. And they got to have some type of gift because, like I said, there's stuff they came up with. No way in the world I made sure what they would know. Even some of the landowners pulled me aside. How the hell does she know this? You know, their mouth is to the ground. You know, how the hell does she know this? You know, because that information's never been out there.
And yeah, you know, it's funny that you mentioned that because you've met my daughter and you know that, you know, she has an ability. And I was skeptical when she told me that, you know, she can hear, see, and feel the spirits. But she's proved herself multiple times just in my life alone. And I was amazed by it. So, you know, in my feelings, there must be people that can do this. I mean, my daughter gains nothing from doing this. She gains nothing. In fact, she doesn't even like the fact that she has it, because to her, she doesn't know how to turn it off yet.
See, that's what I'm scared of. I'm scared. Whatever abilities I have, I'm afraid to enhance it and can't control it. I want to because I want to use it for good and to help people or in help situations. But to be honest, I'm a little scared because I don't want it bombarding my house, my daughter, my wife. And so I one of these days, I think I will. I got to have the time and willing to learn correctly how to control things.
Yeah, and I was trying to guide my daughter into seeing there's a psychic, or not a psychic, but I want to say a medium in Texas that teaches other mediums how to control, because she had to learn. But now that she's learned, she's sharing that information. So, you know, it's a lady named Sarah. I can't think of her last name, but, you know, she's down in Texas, in Austin, Texas, and she gives lessons over the line. But, you know, that would be something I think, you know, if you ever did want to follow through with your, you know, because I've seen it in action with you. And that's what's great about it is I get to see this firsthand. I'm not getting it from, well, Joe Blowover. Oh, yeah, he saw this or felt this. No, I look at you. I can see you. I can see it in your arms. I can see, you know.
I still get floored by it. I still can't. I know it's happening and it's true, but, you know, in my mind, I still can't get over it. I'm like, oh, you know, I'm just amazed each time.
Right. And like when you got grabbed in Indiana, you know, I didn't see you get grabbed. But for when you came out and did you see that? You know, you felt something.
Oh my God, yeah. I tell you, I don't know if it was good or bad. It might have been saving me from going further down that pit that I shouldn't be going down.
And it was dangerous.
It was a clamp. It was almost like a C clamp. Grabbed my shoulders right here, and I went like, it stopped me like I hit a wall.
Right.
And I'm like, what the F? I'm thinking, I get stuck in a hook or a nail. I mean, but I could feel it clamping with force, gripping me. I forget which side it was.
It was here.
It was here, yeah. But then later I got that, walked out of there, got the scratch.
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. So if you do develop it,
Yeah.
we'll take you along on some investigations. So, all right, we're coming to an end, but I do want to find out, what was your most memorable investigation?
Oh, man. I tell you, I mean, there's some scary ones that I come across, but they weren't really investigations. I don't know if I'll get into that, but that opened my eyes to evil. Demonic sounding stuff coming through the phones and all kind of stuff that scared the bejesus out of me. And that's why I started getting items blessed, and I had to learn to protect myself, and it's cleansing and blessed items. But that'll be for another time if you want to do that, because it's kind of a long story. But holy Jesus, it's like watching a freaking demonic movie with like the Exorcist type of voice. But anyway, I tell you, some memorable stuff in investigations. Like one was a gangster place, like Al Capone type of gangster place. Rocky DeGrazia owned the place, along with some others. Almost like watching The Sopranos. They had strip joints, the two bars, the strippers, prostitutes, illegal gambling, and underground tunnels and stuff like that. But that place, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, if it's a business or if it's someone's home, the last thing I want to do is provoke and make things worse. But sometimes knowing, being a first responder, if it's a prison or it's a gangster place, knowing they hate the police, sometimes a little stir in the pot, or reenacting, like bringing police gear, or if it's a hospital fire gear, doctor gear, whatever it was. But I brought some police gear, knowing this place has been raided by everybody, county, local, the FBI, for all the illegal gambling and stuff. And so knowing they've been raided several times, and all the money was taken away and stuff. So I had all my props, I had the police star, handcuffs, either a fake or empty gun, in a holster, and just police gear, police type gear. And so it's the first time I ever got F-bombs on recordings. Telling me to F off, you're effing dead, and blah, 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 And I waited for the perfect moment, and I had papers in my hand. There was a siren outside going by. And I don't know if it was a police or fire truck or whatever it was, but I said, Rocky, and I pulled out my police star hand, and got the cuffs, and I said, search warrant, and hit the papers. I threw it down. I said, Rocky, we're going to find your money. We're going to take it. And then it stirred up. It started, I said, you're effing dead. You got to be effing kidding me. We're effed. And I don't want to swear. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear.
Do what you got to do.
And then we also got recordings. Some of it could be residual. That location, we got ladies of the night, the strippers and the prostitutes. Like, suck your blank, up and down, that's all I do. And then you get voices recorded, do it, want some. So that could be residual.
Yeah.
There's a difference between residual energy and intelligent energy out there that know you're there, and some of it's just like the gunshots. It's just looping over and over again. It's not intelligent.
No, but that's still gunshots. I mean, how are gunshots,
I found out later through research, I didn't know it, but some old timers that used to work at that station, in that location we were at, I had no knowledge, was a gun range.
Okay, yeah.
A small little gun range back when it first opened.
Well, I think a lot of stations back in the day had their own, because you had to qualify.
Yeah.
And you go, and nowadays you would go to where to qualify, downtown somewhere? Or,
they got different ranges they go to throughout the city, or depending on if it's shotgun or if it's an AR or something, there's other locations you gotta go to. But yeah, some of the old police stations, they have maybe a 1-2 lane.
Yeah, just for qualifying person, or doing it because always was in Chicago band, and all right, I'm going to shoot. Thank you for putting that out there. But yeah, my father-in-law, he worked in Deuce, and I think he was telling me Inglewood used to have their range there or something. I don't know, but it's being in Chicago. You guys have plenty of places, or we have plenty of places that we can investigate. But I'm looking forward to that, and I appreciate you taking me on. And
Thank you.
And I'm glad you're doing this here podcast for me, and look forward to working with you, Dave.
Same here.
All right. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Peace out. All right. So I'm Mike, and I am doing the live at Paranormal Chicago Conference in, Countryside, Illinois. And we are at the CPI booth, and we are doing a little show off of what we have as far as equipment, and we're also showing Misty. So here we got what one of our vests look like that we take out on an investigation, full of all the good toys. There's a tripwire, and this is an Octa something or another. I don't know what the technical name is, but yeah, it's quite elaborate, all this technology that we got laying out here. Some of our cameras, and here's all of our important equipment. We got a tripwire sitting up here, and it's all our EMF meters and EMF pumps. We've got tri-field meters. We got the obvious voice recorders, and we've got all of the laser beams, and every camera he's got is out here. Well, no, not every, but a good portion of them. And we have the SLS camera. We got all our sages, and make sure we're safe when we get done with the investigations. Over here, this is we got Misty. Now, Misty is our command vehicle. It is a retired ambulance, and we figured, hey, with the name CPI, Chicago Paranormals, yeah, we definitely need to have a ambulance. And considering the fact that a good portion of us are first responders, it's fitting. We feel comfortable in it. All right. And if you go up inside here, you can definitely see where our computers are, and all DVR equipment. And right now there is video of the church that we did in Norridge, Illinois, and it's playing through the DVR. And we have more over here. This is there's actually a video of the camera of the command vehicle, and that is how people can watch us. And this is a pretty nice setup. There's the camera up there showing what's going on, and we have all our equipment gets stored up in here and underneath the seat. There's the computer, pretty heavy duty equipment there. And if I take you back outside, you will see that, there's the other camera. Don't want to miss anything. And you can see inside the cab, yeah, we still have all the radio equipment and sirens and lights. All right, so I'm going to take you to the other side over here and just show you that if you open up this side panel here, it's a little bit old, but there's the backside of the DVR system. So you can get power and all of the connections custom built, so we can don't even have to run it inside the van that way. You just have to be inside the ambulance, nice and quiet and clean and dry and what have you. So quite interesting how much how much thought has gone into this ambulance conversion, and really, what Dave feels is a good thing for ghost hunting, which is needed. So, but over here, I'm just going to walk you over to one of the Ghostbuster cars, show you what that's all about, and oh, they've actually been out to my house. Look at the license plate. It's for advertisement for sure. That's a legitimate Illinois license plate. And they have done it all up with lights and sirens. They've been out to my house during the hunt. And quite a cool team, huh? Yeah, that's awesome. They got it fixed up really nice. So there you go. There's your Facebook advertisement. So, well, there's Slimer. That's who I've been looking for. Let's see if we can get a good picture. There's Slimer and me. Let me get out the way. Huh? Oh.
Picture looks so cool.
All right, now I'm going to take you inside and give you a little idea of what the convention looks like. All right, here we are. We are just doing the entrance booth here. Oh, I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, you as well.
All right, we're at the convention. And all these tables, they sell all healing and protection and books. Everything you can imagine, what you want, what you don't need, what you do need, everything. So, as you can see, people are, I don't know what happened there. My camera just loses signal once in a while. So, here we are. There, my camera's doing what it wants. There's Dale Keswick. Man, see what happens? All right, there's Dale and his group. All right, we're going to try this again. And we're going to just walk through the convention. As you can see, everybody's here. Everybody that's into the paranormal is here. Either they're into the paranormal or they're into the healing, but they're here. We've got all kinds of charms. We've got all kinds of books. Candy places. Ooh, all right. Crystal shops. Tarot reading. 3D printing. All kinds.
I'm still learning my nerdism on that.
Even socks. Oh, pictures. Equipment. Huh? Podcast. And not, huh? No, I'm at CPI. The ambulance, Chicago, yeah. Look at all the jewelry. Just anyway, that's what they do. All right, once again, there's Dale Cosmeric.
But yeah, here comes the cat wall and then down the drive, of course. You can run it down. These are collapsible.
Really cool looking displays here. We got some very artistic, old school in the store. Look at that. Wow. A lot of work goes into
And you
this.
have to pay $30 for the bag. So,
All right. This is cool. I gotta come back. Definitely gotta come back. See a bunch of candles. All right, how are you? All the protection candles. These are infused with all protections, spices, and herbs, and crystals. Where are you going? Come back here. All right, so that was the show. Now I'm going to come back through and walk through without recording. So see you in a bit. Peace out. All right, everybody, how we doing? We are back at Shipwreck Studios in Burbank, Illinois. We just left the show Chicago Paranormal in Countryside. Very good show. A lot of attendees and quite a few nice vendors out there. I was looking at a lot of their products. And nothing really crazy. But I did notice there was, tarot card readers. There were a lot of arts and crafts there, 3D printing people. And of course, they do all the 3D printing of the paranormal stuff and ghosties and what have you. There was seminars going on up on the stage. there was a lot of ghost hunting teams out there, which was nice to see different teams and what they do different than other than what we do. We had a nice interview with Dave Olson from CPI, my boss man, and you got to give me a little bit of leeway here. It was my first time in the field, so please bear with me. Kind of new to these podcasting and trying to video edit, and I know a lot of this goes out on audio only, but I'm on YouTube and Edzilla, and if you look up Edzilla, you can see this video. If you have Spotify, you can see the video, and soon to come, Apple Podcast will be doing my videos. Don't know exactly when on that, but it's coming up soon. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. Yeah, the show was very nice. We were able to show off Misty, our command vehicle, which is quite set up nicely. It has all the recording equipment. It has its own cameras in case something happens inside the van. You never know, what can happen anywhere. There's ghosts everywhere, and why not catch it when you can? There was the Ghostbuster crews out there. They had their cruiser. Two of them were definitely out there. I gotta laugh every time I see the Ghostbuster Mini. That's a good one to see. And the other one is a Ford POS, what I used to drive around at work, and it's done up really nice, and you get a little glimpse of that one. The Mini I didn't get to go near or past because I didn't see it. It was somewhere else in the parking lot, but it was there. And there was another Ghostbuster. He wasn't associated with those guys, but he knows them, and he also did a Mini, which I didn't see because I actually don't think he brought it, but he was wearing his costume from the first commercial in the very first Ghostbusters, where they were advertising themselves for the first time, so it's a little bit different than what their costume is throughout the rest of the movie. But anyway, we had a lot of interesting people come over by our booth. A lot of interested, I should say, not interesting. I mean, they were interesting, but they were interested in ghost hunting and what we did and how we did it. And I was able to show off the equipment that I handmade, and somebody actually went ahead and went home and mimicked it because they found out that they were able to make it themselves. Really nice. That's to me, that's a big, huge, that's props for me, that I was able to inspire somebody to, don't worry about buying all the big equipment. Look at what somebody else can do or what somebody else has done and mimic it. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I've mentioned several times, that I own and run a haunted yard, and a lot of our ideas are unique, but we got a lot of ideas from other places. And if it wasn't for the community sharing and allowing to share their knowledge, the haunt industry would be nowhere. And I mean that in every respect of haunt. Ghost hunting, haunted places, they get inspiration from one place that, they allow investigators in. they take the lead and go, well, we can do that here too. They make a little bit of money. The investigators have a little bit of fun outside of doing the home investigations or a business investigation all the time. They get to go to some place that is truly believed to be haunted. So, and that show was a great networking portal and very important. In fact, I ran into an officer that I did not work directly with, but I've seen him at work, and we were two ships passing in the night, not knowing each other really. I work for the Cook County Sheriff's Department, and it's a huge department. We had 3,500 officers just in the corrections side. That's not including the courts, and that's not including the sheriff's police. We're at the time when I was on the job, I am now retired, but when I was on the job, I think we were somewhere around 9,000 strong. That's no small number. It's not quite as big as Chicago, but we were comparable. I mean, we would be able to stand toe to toe with them, heel to heel, whatever they needed, we were able to help out, officer for officer almost. Not that ever came to that, but if it did, we were able to stand with Blue and match them officer for officer, which is, something to be said for. Anyway, I am going to be editing this. Please, again, don't slam me too hard on the editing. It's my first time doing video editing. I have been working on it for quite some time already, and for my first time, I think it looks good. It is a little jumpy. I also did have a few, quirks while I was doing the interview with Dave Olson. For some reason, and I didn't touch it, my audio just went different. I have no idea why. It sounds like we're in an echo, and the soundboard that I have, or the mixer that I have, doesn't have that option in it. So you tell me, maybe that was something, supernatural right there. You can understand it, but it does sound a little freaky, so please forgive me for that. I don't know. I never tried to correct audio, and right now just having a hard time doing video. I'll try messing with the audio at another date sometime, maybe to straighten it out, but I want to get this out because it's kind of important to get these interviews out, close to when we've done the job, and I don't want to be holding back this exciting time. This was actually it was my first convention as far as paranormal goes. It was fun. We had a good time. It was a little bit tough setting everything up and then taking it down at the end of the day, but at investigations you do the same thing, and this wasn't as bad because everything was just laying out on tables. At the investigations, it's strung out all over the place. So yeah, we didn't have too many cords to wrap up other than a handful. I got to interview Ryan, I'm going to call him second in command. There's supposedly someone ahead of him, which I have not met yet. I'm really looking forward to it. If he's, I believe he's got something going on with the family, or at home, and really can't make the ghost hunting as much as he would like to. And I don't know if he's, he might not have, but he might have stepped down or stepped to his side for a little bit. I don't know. But I can't wait to meet him. And from what I understand, that he is a very prolific investigator. He's a fireman. He's a boss fireman, and he worked with Ryan, and that's how Ryan got into CPI. So yeah, again, like I said, I'm really excited to meet him, and I was glad to meet all the people I did out at the show. I saw some familiar faces, I saw some new faces, and it was a good time. So, check me out, check me out, check it out, check them out, check us out. And if you will bear with me, like I said, please, forgive my video editing skills, which are not close to par, but I'm trying, and I hope that you guys will enjoy it. My video near the end, for whatever reason, I have a DJI, it's like a selfie stick type of thing that's supposed to follow me, and it, for whatever reason, again, at this show, it just decided to lose signal. I had it sitting here, for hours doing podcasts and never lost a signal. I go to the show and it's flopping all over the place, so the video is not that great. I did try it one other time and got a little bit better, so please, again, forgive me for that. I cannot control my electronics. Sounds sad. But anyway, look forward to that. I'm hoping to drop it right away. So, this should be going out real soon. And the following podcast, the following week will be part 2, if I can get that edited in time. If not, I'll take a little break and put one of my backlogs in and try that out, but a little break between them. But yeah, there's part 1 and part 2, and that will be interviews with a new investigator, Mikey Suzeki, and Ryan Waddell, which is what I consider, like I said, the second in command at this point. So yeah, please like, share, follow, really share, smash that share button, smash that like button, smash that follow button. Please follow me. It's, kind of important. I'm kind of excited. I'm seeing higher numbers throughout the weeks. That's great. But yeah, please, put me out there, get me, some views. I really appreciate it. Not getting me any money, but I want to make it worth it that I'm doing this, and the more shares and likes I get, the happier I will be. And I know maybe I sound a little boring at times, or I have a monotone voice. There's nothing I can do about that. I try to put a little spring in my step. That's what I'm trying to do today. Little eye contact. And but I always had, unfortunately, this monotone voice, and there's nothing I can do about it. I do try, like I said, to make it a little bit more exciting, and with episodes to come, I hope to do that. Being new, it's a little rough, and I have no one to feed off of. With my other podcast, I've got Ed and Lou to feed off of, and I can communicate back and forth, but I even noticed there I'm a little bit monotone. Human nature. But, if you stick with me, maybe I'll get better, and all I can do is hope for that, correct? Well, that's what I'm hoping, and I hope you enjoy my shows. I hope to bring you some not live. I will be recording future investigations. I have approval from Dave Olson, which is really exciting, because I really want you guys to see what a live investigation is like, not these film edited investigations, not YouTube edited. This will be what you see is what we do. I'm not going to be trying to do all that other editing, just like our other podcast. It's what we do. It is exactly, what we say, how we say it. And that's what I want you to see. Real life. I don't want to see, I don't want you to see something made up, scripted. I don't like scripted things. And when people start writing scripts and they start going off the chain, then it's a little bit rough. So I've been doing this already for 16 minutes and I'm rambling on. So I am going to unramble and I am going to say au revoir, good night, peace, love, and hair grease. I said it right this time. Lou, you'll be proud of me. Look forward to dropping this coming Wednesday, and hopefully you'll like it. But again, please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and watch. I don't know. Just keep me in mind, and keep the Not podcast with Ed, Lou, and Mike in mind. Like, share, and follow that. Smash those like buttons, please. I was on YouTube. I'm getting more views, but I don't have any. I've only got a few likes. Please like and share it. I'm begging you. All right. So, from the Not Ghost Host podcast, I'm your ghost host, Mike, and I am going to be signing off. Sayonara.